All right, YouTube, I'm gonna keep this video as short and sweet as we can. It's getting pretty cold outside. I got my torpedo heater off so that I could do the video without a bunch of noise. First thing I want to do in the video is I had somebody comment on one of my other videos and they were asking what the color was called on this car. And so I've got the paint over here. Let me grab, this is just a quart, but I've also got a gallon. It's Custom Paints Base Metallic Purple, mixed 2 to 1. I picked this up on eBay, and no complaints with it. It's a pretty decent paint. But somebody had asked that. It doesn't have a specific color code. They just call it the base metallic purple. And so wanted to get that before I forgot. So you can see on the car, this is not guide coat. This is black primer, which is sandable primer. It's not a high build primer. I got everything sanded, got the primer on there, and then of course I've still got to wet sand the entire car, but all the areas are fixed. You'll also notice that the rear bumper and front bumper are off. I took those off today and have been doing the finishing touches. I believe the front bumper is ready for paint, just needs to be cleaned up, and the rear bumper is pretty close. I put a little bit of glazing putty over in the edge over there. There was a small spot. I still got to sand that. No big deal. I went to Harbor Freight today and I picked up this buffer. It can also be used as a sander, which is exactly what I plan to use it for. I'm waiting on more sandpaper to get here. I grabbed some 1000 grit, which will work on this buffer, but obviously I can't just go up to 1000. I've got to work my way up to that high of a grit. And so I was thinking that some of the other sandpaper I had was going to work, and I've got this other Duragold sandpaper, but the problem is once it gets wet, the adhesive doesn't want to stick. On this sander, which it's not made for in the first place, but even on my regular DA, when you're trying to wet sand, this sandpaper just won't stick. So I was at 400, and that's where I need to be. So we ordered the correct sandpaper that'll work on this buffer, and I plan to wet sand the entire car. I'll get all the big areas, anything that I can get to with the electric sander, and then everything else I'll hand sand, and I'm gonna work my way up through the grits and probably go up to 1000. I'm gonna look at it once I get maybe past 600 or at 600. If it looks good at 600, I'll probably just leave it there. But if not, I'll go 8 and 1000. And I want this thing to be good. And then hopefully we can get some paint on it, weather permitting. I'm strongly considering doing the paint in the shop just because the weather has been so bad, mainly windy. And so I may do the base color in the shop and then wait to do the clear coat for good weather and do that in the booth. It's not going to hurt anything if there's a little bit of dirt nibs in the base coat, because I'm going to bury it in the clear anyway, and all that's going to get buffed out. But we'll see. I will clean the shop, obviously, and make it better before we do that. But that's basically where we're at. You can see I started wet sanding the roof. I've got a good bit of that done, so that's great. But again, all the body spots that I wanted to fix are fixed. I think they're gonna be okay. They wasn't terrible originally, so even if they're not 100% perfect, I'm just gonna be happy with it at this point. And it is what it is. I mean, the car looks really good already. Once I get some color on here and actually get everything matching, I think it's really gonna look good, and I'm gonna be happy with it. And then we still have to address a few small issues like getting the brakes set correctly, getting a few wheel studs replaced on one of the rear wheels that I broke, and just getting everything back together. But we're not far from it. This is gonna be our Sunday update video. I wish I could have got more done. We did have a little bit of nice weather, but now we got another cold front coming in, so who knows. I will get out here. If I have days off of work this week, if we get too cold or if we get snowed in, I'm planning on stocking up on diesel fuel, and I will be out here wet sanding and potentially painting the car, which is another reason I say that I may paint it in the shop, because I may have to with the weather. But you can probably see the phone starting to get shaky. That's because my hands are shaking. It is cold in here, and I'm gonna get inside where it's warm. But that's gonna be our Sunday update video. Keep a check out for more videos. Don't forget to subscribe.